Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Ultimate Exterior Cleaning Van Build. In this episode I'm going to be fitting a 175 watt solar panel to the roof of the van. I'm also going to be fitting an isolator switch to it so I can keep it all safe, a fuse, van ports for the roof of the van, and I'm also going to show you how you fit the MC4 connectors, which are the ones that you use with solar panels. All the equipment I've got for this is from Renogy. I'm not sponsored in any way of this video. And what I will do is I will leave a link for everything I've used down below, and it might be something that you're interested in yourself for your own van. So to start off with, we'll need to fit the solar panel to the roof. Now to do that, I bought the Renogy fitting kit. Ever so simple the way this fits together, just bolts all together and then screws down to the roof of the van. So I'll put this onto the solar panel and then we'll get it up on the roof and I'll show you what goes on from there. So these are the fixing brackets that come with the kit. They come with the 4 brackets. They come with the nuts and bolts to attach the brackets to the solar panel, and they come with the bolts to attach it to the roof. So to start off with, I'm going to turn the solar panel upside down, making sure it's on the cardboard that it came on. It's got like a big piece of foam rubber on it as well, and I'll make sure it's sat on that so I don't damage it while it's upside down. And then I'm going to attach the fixing bolts to it. So with 2 10mm spanners, you just bolt these on, ever so simple. Now the only thing that I don't really like about these is the spanner, the nuts that come with them are just ordinary nuts. I'd have been much happier if they'd have had a Nylock nut on it. It'd probably be worth putting a bit of Loctite on it, but I'm not at home at the moment, so I haven't got any. So I think when I get back home I'll be putting a bit of Loctite on, or even just replacing them with a bit of with the Nylock bolts. So now we've got the brackets on. Just before we lift it up onto the roof, the 2 cables are marked positive and negative. So we're going to fit the fuse just to make it a bit easier rather than trying to struggle with it once it's up on the roof. So the MC4 fittings are really simple, they just push together. So always fit the fuse on the positive side. So literally just push it in, and that's a 15 amp fuse that I'm fitting. Right, we'll get it up on the roof now. So looking up on the roof of the ambulance here, we've got 2 brackets here where the flashing lights and the sirens were fitted. We've got a horrible bit of wiring coming through there, which is only stuck in with a bit of mastic. So we'll do something with that. That there is where the fan is. That one there is the fan. We've got 3 little aerials there, which were the old communications. We've then got the skylight, which lifts up and down. And then we've got another 2 brackets there, which were more flashing lights. And then we've got just that there is the sat nav for the ambulance. So I'm going to fit it here, just in front of these sets of brackets, and then if I decide to put another set of flashing beacons on, I can use those brackets to fit them. So we'll get it up here and see how we get on. So this is where I want it. It's just catching the bridges in the roof, but I think there's enough flex in these brackets that I'll be able to bolt it down without any problem, even though it's just catching those. So what we've got to do, make sure it's the same all the way around. This roof's actually quite solid, so it's in the right place in the front and the back. And then I'm just going to mark around those so I can clean it up. So I can just clean up underneath them. Look, so I'm just going to seal these as well with a bit of Sikaflex, just to make a bit of a better seal, just to make sure that no water leaks through. So just before we fix it now, we're just going to finally connect our cables on, just to make it easier than trying to do it underneath when it's bolted into place. So we'll just tip it up and plug them in. So before we push our cable through, while we know which one's the positive, we're just going to wrap a bit of red tape around that, because once they've come through the roof of the van, it's going to be a lot harder to tell which is positive and which is negative. So just a bit of red tape around it, and it's easy to tell when it's in the other side of the van. Now I've got these little self-tapping screws that come in the kit, so because they're self-tappers you shouldn't have to pre-drill them. And they come, I think it's a 7mm head they've got on them, so I'll just put those in. Got a little bolt bit on my drill there, so I'll just drill those in. So what I'm going to do is just put a bit of Sikaflex underneath where it's going to sit. Now you can use any sealant you want, you don't have to use any if you don't want, but the good thing about using the Sikaflex is that it is waterproof. So, and it doesn't shrink either. A lot of the more domestic ones for using indoors will actually shrink. The Sikaflex shouldn't shrink when you use it. So I'll just put a big pad of that underneath there. Make sure it's in the right place. A bit more under that one. I'll just put a bolt in now. I'll just put one in to start with, just to hold it into position, just on a slow speed. And there it goes. Got a little rubber washer with it as well. Now I'm not going to do it down tight at the minute. I'm going to put a bit under the other one first. This will just help seal around the bolts and just be a bit of a pad for it to sit on, and just help seal it all around, help stick it into place a bit better. And these go in really easy. As I said, you don't need to pre-drill a hole with them. Just put it down loose for now. I'll do the front ones. Now we're all in the right place, we can do them down a little bit tighter. So now we've got to get our cables through the roof, now our solar panels fitted. So I've bought one of these little two-way ports here. They've got two waterproof glands on them. So we'll fit that onto the roof here with a cable going through each one of those, but I'm only going to drill one hole through into the roof. So I've worked out exactly where this is going to go, and I put a bit of masking tape down just to mark it. Now this one didn't come with any, but some come with a little rubber gasket, and this hadn't got any, but I've just drilled 4 little holes into the corners of the box, and then that way I'll be able to just glue it down, and then I'm just going to stick a couple of self-tappers through just to hold it in place. So what I'll do now then is just drill a 20mm hole for the cables to go down through into the roof of the van. So that is double skinned, but I'm going to go above the top skin. It's all from where they've put the lining in. It's there's a skin of ply in there, and then they've screwed fiberglass to it to line out the ambulance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed these in. So make sure your glands are screwed in really tight into the box. And I'm just going to loosen them off so they don't clamp the wire, and I'm going to put one in through each gland and just feed that all the way, both of those, feed them all the way into the box. So because we don't want the cable being cut with vibration around where we drilled through the roof, I've got a little rubber grommet, so that I'll put that into place first. So that just fits in, and that should just protect it against the cable against it. Now both cables should fit through that same 20mm hole through that grommet, so we'll just feed those in now. So there we've got our box into the place it's going to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'll just dry off the roof again, because we're having a few showers today. Dry it off where it's going to go. I want to make sure that it's going to stick. And dry off our box as well. And I'm going to put a bead of Sikaflex around where that's going to sit. The bead around there, and then just drop that back into position where we want it. Tighten those down. We don't need to be too tight, we don't want to strip them through. Take the masking tape off. Cheap masking tape. And then just do up the collets, just so they're tight, and that will just pinch them in tight and stop any water getting in around those cables. So this is our cables coming in to the van. I'm still not 100% sure where I'm going to put all my controls and everything at the moment. So all I'm going to do at the moment is fix a isolator box, and I'm going to fix it to the side somewhere around there. Now you've got to remember, even though the cables from the solar panels aren't connected to anything, those solar panels in the light are now producing electric, so you've got to be really careful. You don't want to be touching the ends together. So what I'm going to do, I'll show you now how you fit the MC4 couplers on. I'll bolt that to the wall, and then we'll just connect it all up, and we can make sure then with the isolator switch, keep it off. This one's actually lockable, comes with a little padlock to lock it with, just to make sure you can't, and nobody else can turn it on when you don't want it on. So we'll fix this all up, and that'll be the job done for now. We have our MC4 connectors. Now we have a female and a male. which fit together like that. Now there's two inserts as well. So you have a male insert and a female insert, which when pushed together go like that. The female insert goes with the male connector, and the male insert goes with the female connector. So what we'll need to do now is attach our cable. So these come pre-stripped, the Renogy ones do. A little bit of plastic on the end, which I've just pulled off. Now if you're buying them and they're not pre-stripped, or you have to trim them down, get yourself a set of strippers, wire strippers. I got these from Aldi, I think. Really cheap, but work really well, and they just fit in and strip really nice, give a really nice clean cut. So now with the female one, which is the one that's going on the live, we undo our screw, fit that over the cable. I've just moved the red tape down so I know which one it is in future. And there's a little rubber gasket in there, which just makes it all watertight. Now get your male connector and just fit that into your crimps, and just do your crimps up enough so it's just holding it, and then you can let go then and it holds it all in place. So get our cable nice and tidy. You don't want any wires hanging out of it. Get your crimp in the right position, put your cable into your crimp. It doesn't need to go in far, and just squeeze it down, and that makes a really solid connection. If you're not quite sure, crimp it on the smaller one, but that's absolutely solid. Now this pushes up into your connector until you hear it click. That's it there. So that's all in place. Now you just need to screw your screw onto the back. These come with a tool to do them up with, and apparently do them up until you hear 2 clicks is what I heard, and then you know it's right. Well, that's done up tight anyway. You're not gonna. There we go, 2 clicks. Then you know that's the right tightness. So that is the live done. So now we'll do the negative. So this is your wire. If you're doing it with cable strippers, you just put it into the right place, do it, and that would just chop the end off. So once again, undo the screw off the end, give the cable a bit of a twist just to keep it tidy, screw onto the cable, into your crimps, just so it holds it, line it up right, cable in, and tighten it down. Push it in, and there it clicked into place. Do your screw end up, and just tighten it up with the tool that comes with it. You can actually get these in a pair, so it makes it easier to hold. There we go, 2 clicks, so you know that's tight enough. Now all we need to do to attach it to our isolator is push it together. And that is our cable completely isolated. So there's no power coming out the end, there's no live ends. So all I need to do now is fix it onto the wall and I'm done. So that's it, all done. Solar panel, cable, roof holes through the roof, isolator switch, fuse, all fitted, and it was really easy. Now with the Renogy system, you can add on as many panels as you want, and they're really easy. They do little MC4 connectors with a Y on them, so if you want to add more on, you can do. If you do want to find out more about that, have a look at Greg Virgo's channel, who I've picked up a lot of brilliant information from. So I only need the 175 watt solar panel for what I'm going to do, but there's a couple of things that I'm going to be putting in the van that are really interesting. So make sure you subscribe to the playlist, or check out the playlist and subscribe to the channel, and keep watching, and you'll find why I've fitted a solar panel on the roof. So if you found this useful, hit that thumbs up button, make sure you're subscribed. Thanks for watching, bye for now.